Our story begins on Sko Minor as Commander Cody has infiltrated the main separatist base on this planet with an elite squad of clone commandos. A few days ago, Cody went to visit the Jedi and proposed a small secret mission back to a planet that they recently visited. It was here that Anakin Skywalker led Rex and another elite clone unit known as Clone Force 99, aka the Bad Batch, on a rescue mission. The crew rescued the clone called Echo, who was thought to have died on the rescue mission, to save Evan Peel in the Citadel. It was revealed that Echo did not actually die, and instead was captured and sold to the Techno Union. Wat Tambor turned Echo into a cyborg that could be programmed to be used as an interface for new technology. Echo was kept in a stasis, and his brain was essentially hooked up to a computer so that Echo could relay tactical programming from the Republic armies back to the Separatists. Essentially, the Separatists had access to a plethora of top-secret information directly from the brain of one of the clones. And when Echo was rescued, he and the rescue team had to get out of there immediately. So now, a few weeks after leaving Sko Minor, Cody and the elite unit of commandos were sent back to the planet. Cody had proposed that the mission be led by him and Kenobi, but for some reason, Palpatine had stepped in, saying that Kenobi has too much going on. So instead, Cody will go with some specially assigned commandos. Their mission was simple: infiltrate the Sko Minor base that was not destroyed and blow it up from the inside. They may have saved Echo, but this was the only way to be sure that any data taken from Echo's brain was completely destroyed. They would use a stolen Techno Union ship to get past security, and Cody would take the lead inside of the base. All around him, the 6 clone commandos were spread out, taking out droids that were trying to get in their way. Cody was not familiar with these commandos, and he first met them in space above the planet as the plan got underway. They hadn't spoken much, and Cody could tell that this group was all business. Not exactly the demeanor that he was used to after being around Skywalker and Kenobi so often. One of them, the leader named Lex, had the bag of thermal detonators on his back. He rolled into a corner before perfectly firing a round of blaster bolts right into a super battle droid. The group continued to climb through the tower until they reached the door to the room that was supposed to be destroyed. The door slid open, and a trap was quickly revealed. 6 droidicas rolled towards the droid from inside the data room. They put up their shields and began firing at the clones. Cody and the commandos were stuck hiding behind the door, and Cody frantically began looking for a new way inside. He saw a wide vent above. He yelled at Lex to give him the explosives. His armor is small enough where he can climb through the vent, get behind the droidicas, and place the explosives. The commandos could never fit through. He just needs the commandos to distract the droidicas. Lex, for some reason, hesitated. He told Cody that he has direct orders to destroy the data room himself. Cody yelled back that those orders will get them all killed. It's time to change plans. He will have to do it. Lex looked to one of the other commandos, and the clone gave a small nod. So Lex threw Cody the bag, and Cody climbed up into the vent. Something wasn't sitting exactly right with Cody. He didn't exactly like the commandos, and the commandos didn't really love him either. That much was obvious. Cody eventually climbed through the vents, and he dropped behind the droidicas before silently placing the thermal detonators all around the data tables. But as he did, Cody noticed one of the tables was still on, as if the files were recently accessed. It was the file on Echo, and Cody could not help himself. He had to see what information the Separatists had. Cody dove into the files that would tell him everything. From outside the door, Rex realized that this was taking way too long. Cody was just supposed to place the charges and get out of there. So Lex peeked behind the door, and he saw Cody, but Cody was no longer placing charges. He'd removed his helmet, and he was reading something. Lex clenched his fist in frustration. He told the others that Cody was accessing the files. The second in command here, Sorber, told Lex they cannot let Cody access those files. Palpatine specifically ordered the commandos to destroy the top secret information and eliminate anyone who has seen it. So all 6 commandos looked to each other, and they got to work. Inside the room, though, Cody was seeing exactly what was discovered inside of Echo. One of the Techno Union members, Cole Teska, scanned Echo, and he found the inhibitor chip. Teska was able to access the chip, finding all of the executive orders inside of them, along with a switch that essentially makes the clones unable to resist these orders. And now, Commander Cody felt his stomach drop as he read all of it, and he found one order was highlighted unlike the others: Order 66. The order to kill the Jedi. When Palpatine heard about Echo's rescue, he feared this was possible. That is why he sent his hand-picked, specially altered commandos. Cody was never supposed to see this, and Cody quickly realized this was why the commandos had the detonators. They were meant to destroy it without seeing it. Cody looked to the door and he saw all 6 commandos suddenly run inside and begin running at the droidicas with vibroblades and mini shields on their arms. 2 of the commandos fell quickly. Cody pulled out his own datapad, and he began downloading his findings here today. Lex and Sorber were able to take out 3 of the droidicas, and the other 2 surviving commandos took out 1 droidica each before being killed. Cody looked down to see that the download was almost complete. He could tell that the commandos had no intention of keeping him alive. They were loyal to Palpatine above all. The download would finish right as Lex and Sorber destroyed the final droidica, and Lex aimed his blaster to where Cody just was. But Cody now stood at the window. He gave a sarcastic salute before smashing through the window, pushing the detonate button for the thermal detonators. Lex and Sorber dove away, but the explosion threw them hard into the wall as they both went unconscious. Outside the base, Cody was falling through the air, and he used a grapple gun to grab the leg of a huge bird flying away from the base. Cody was able to use the bird to softly land on the ground, and he pulled out his communicator to send a message to the Jedi Temple. Cody spoke as calmly as he could with the information he possessed. He had to keep it brief. Cody sent a message to the temple saying he has top secret information about a plot to destroy the Jedi. He said that Fives was right about everything. He has all the proof on a datapad here. Cody said that it goes all the way to the top, all the way to the Chancellor, and he requested that the Jedi please trust him. Come to Sko Minor to find him. He will be here with all the proof the Jedi need to end this war. Cody said, "May the Force be with them all," a saying that he didn't exactly use often, but one he felt he needed right now, and he sent the message to the temple before running into the yellow fog to hide away in some rocks. Back inside of the main base, Lex eventually woke up to find Sorber next to him, dead from the explosion. Lex felt red-hot fury inside of him towards Cody. His curiosity, his refusal to follow orders, got all 5 of Lex's squad mates killed. Lex didn't care what was on those files. It wasn't his information to find out. He was just following Palpatine's orders. Cody has gone AWOL. Lex pulled out his own communicator, and he sent a message to Coruscant. Palpatine would be at his desk, and he answered Lex, hoping for a positive update. But on the hologram, Palpatine could see the smoke around Lex. He could tell something was wrong. Lex told Palpatine that Cody accessed the files on Echo. He found something. He downloaded it, and he blew up the facility before he could be stopped. Palpatine waited a moment before speaking, clearly trying to compose himself, and finally, he calmly told Lex to get up, go find Cody, kill him, before he can give whatever he found to the Jedi, as the Jedi cannot be trusted. Lex got to his feet, and he told Palpatine it will be done. Palpatine said this is good, and if Lex succeeds, he will have a place atop the future iterations of the clone army. The message ended, and Lex grabbed everything he could as his hunt would quickly begin. Back on Coruscant, the Jedi Council would gather, as Mace Windu was the first one to see this message. He quickly called all of the Council members, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Cody's closest Jedi General and friend, and the Council would watch the message sent from Cody. His words were chilling. Fives was right. What could that mean? They all recalled the reports from Rex and Anakin, where Fives said that the plot to destroy the Jedi goes all the way to the top. Now Cody was sending the same message. Obi-Wan immediately said he will go to Sko Minor, but Yoda said no. Kenobi is far too personally involved. But Obi-Wan actually pushed back, something he never did in Council, to say that the Jedi and clones have formed special relationships with each other. He looked at Plo Koon, Depa Billaba, Saesee Tiin in particular, saying that if it was any of their commanders, they would go. Would they not? They all know their clone commanders better than anyone else. So, Plo Koon would speak up in favor of Kenobi, saying that he is right. If anyone will be able to find Cody, it is Obi-Wan. Windu spoke up saying that he concurs, but then he said that he senses danger on Sko Minor. Cody may be safe for now, but Obi-Wan had better hurry. Yoda gave his approval as well, and Obi-Wan would quickly head to the temple hangar, taking off alone. Back on Sko Minor, Cody had stumbled into a cave that was filled with some sort of yellow gas. Without his helmet, he may not have been able to breathe, not something he wanted to test out. He'd been on the run for hours now, and just behind him the entire time was the clone commando Lex. Cody could see him with his binoculars at times, and Lex was an expert tracker. He was following Cody through Sko Minor, and eventually, he would trace Cody right into the cave that he was hiding in. But Lex didn't go in right away. Instead, he scoured the area for a secondary exit. He looked for a long while until he found the second exit, and Lex placed the remainder of his thermal detonators along that cave mouth before going back to the main entrance. Once back at the main opening, Lex lit up the explosives, caving in the only other way out, trapping Cody inside. In the cave, Cody heard the explosions, and he cursed himself for not expecting this. He would now have to face Lex. He grabbed hold of his own blaster and made sure he still had his vibroblade before sneaking up to a crevice in the cave wall. And here, He waited. In minutes, Cody saw the flashlight from Lex, and Lex scanned the area for any sign of footsteps. Lex found some, and as he was looking down to track them, Cody made his move. He fired a blast right at Lex, and Lex moved just enough so it hit his side armor. It was painful, but he could fight through it. Lex dove behind a large rock. Cody yelled out, telling him to stand down. He's fighting for the wrong side, but Lex didn't care to hear what this traitor had to say. He spun from behind the rock, fired a series of blasts right into the rock ceiling. Debris rained down around Cody, as Cody had to run from his own hiding spot. He ran right into Lex, tackling the clone commando to the ground. Both Cody and Lex rolled to their feet, blasters ripped away from them, and they both pulled out a vibroblade. Cody and Lex circled each other, and finally, Lex struck again. He slashed upward with a reverse grip, aiming for Cody's neck, but Cody twisted to his left, brought his knee right into Lex's side. Lex grunted, then elbowed Cody square in the helmet. The blow cracked a chunk of the side plate, sent Cody tumbling to the ground, blade slipping out of his grasp for a moment. Lex advanced, stabbing downward, but Cody rolled just in time. He kicked out then, catching Lex's knee, then shot up and slammed him into the cave wall before grabbing his own blade. The two of them collided blades a few times over, and Cody backed away, breathing heavily as he pushed the blade towards Lex's face once again, telling Lex he doesn't have to do this, that he found out the truth. They have a chip. Everything they're fighting for is a lie. Lex growled back that he's loyal to Palpatine. He follows orders, Lex said, before headbutting Cody so hard that sparks flew from the commander's helmet. Lex spun his blade around before saying that he will kill Cody, for Palpatine, for his brothers, that Cody got killed by disobeying orders. Lex lunged forward, slashing wide. Cody ducked, blocked another strike, and retaliated with a quick jab to Lex's ribs, then drove his blade towards the open underarm area, but Lex twisted and slammed his fist into Cody's stomach, swept Cody's legs, and sent him crashing to the ground. Lex pounced, but Cody grabbed a loose rock, smashed it into Lex's helmet, staggering him. That was enough. Cody leapt up, landing a clean slice across the commando's shoulder pad. The armor took the brunt, but Lex yelled out as the blade did graze flesh. Lex retaliated with a vicious slash right towards Cody's thigh. Cody blocked it with his blade, grabbed Lex's wrist, and ripped the blade from his hand. Cody now held both blades forward as Lex was down on one knee, and Cody said again that he does not want to fight him like this. They're on the same side. Palpatine is the common enemy. Finally, Lex stood down. He told Cody to show him the proof. Cody breathed a huge sigh of relief, and he moved over to where his datapad was hidden. But as Cody was now distracted, Lex crawled over to the cave wall. He grabbed his blaster. There was no saving him. Secretly, Lex was a part of an experimental clone unit created by Palpatine. This unit had no choice but to be loyal to Palpatine. Even if Cody showed Lex direct proof, it would not matter. His brain was literally wired to be loyal to Palpatine. So, Cody picked up the datapad not knowing this, and he turned it to show Lex, only to be met with betrayal. Lex fired 3 blasts. One hit Cody in his left thigh, another right in his chest, and the final one aimed for his helmet. But Cody got his forearm in the way instead as the blast exploded into his arm. Cody fell hard to the ground, and Lex hooked his blaster to his back, picked up his blade, and went to go destroy the datapad. He stood over it, and Lex lifted his foot to crush the datapad. But before he could smash it, Cody roared back to his feet, stabbing Lex through the back with his own blade, twisting it a few times over, then ripping through Lex's spine to quickly kill the clone commando. Lex fell dead, Cody fell to his knee. He removed his helmet, breathed safely, with tears in his eyes, and Cody would bury Lex in some nearby loose rocks. Using all of his remaining strength to do this, apologized to Lex for what happened to him, and then Cody grabbed a flare gun from Lex's belt, and he began crawling out of here. His wounds in his chest, leg, and arm were terribly painful, even with a back to stim, and eventually, Cody would get to the cave exit, firing off the flare before going unconscious, hoping the right person would find him here. And in the skies of Sko Minor, as Obi-Wan Kenobi was scouring the area for any sign of Cody, he would see the flare, and he would fly his ship down there immediately. Obi-Wan would jump down, scoop up Cody in his arms, telling the commander that this was reckless, dangerous, and stupid to do all on his own, but he did a great job. Cody, barely conscious, said he's been spending far too much time around Anakin, and Kenobi laughed a bit as he loaded Cody onto the ship, taking off for a secret medical facility friendly to the Jedi. Cody would eventually wake up and be nearly at full strength on the planetoid of Polis Massa, inside of an asteroid field. Cody got up, ripping some medical wires from him, and he walked over to a nearby office room where Obi-Wan Kenobi was sitting alone, transmitting himself as a hologram over to the Jedi Council. Obi-Wan went through the datapad from Cody, and he quickly saw the same things that Cody saw. Chancellor Palpatine has access to the inhibitor chips, and inside of these chips were executive orders, including Order 66. The plot to destroy the Jedi was presented to the entire council, and it was clear that the Jedi were going to have to move on Palpatine, but they also needed to convince the Senate that they were doing what was right for the Republic, and that is when Obi-Wan spoke up, recommending that the Jedi call upon Anakin for this. He has good relations with Senator Amidala, one of the most influential voices in the entire Senate. If Anakin can convince Padme to present these findings of Order 66 to the Senate as soon as Palpatine is arrested, then the Jedi will not be seen as the enemy. Windu agreed, and although he said that Obi-Wan's trust in his former Padawan will hopefully be rewarded today, they must hope that Anakin does choose the Jedi over the Chancellor. Obi-Wan was sure that Anakin would make the right choice, and so Anakin would be called into the council chambers. The meeting with everyone else would end, and Obi-Wan would turn to see Cody standing at the door. Cody said it's funny, he never really expected to be in a hospital when the war finally comes to an end. Obi-Wan got up, patting his friend on the shoulder, telling Cody that without his efforts, the Jedi may never have found out the truth about the clones, until it was far too late. Obi-Wan told Cody that he has saved countless lives, and Kenobi said they should go get a meal together, down in the cafeteria. There's not much else they can do from here, except hope the Jedi succeed in the end. Before leaving the room, Cody asked Obi-Wan if he truly believes Anakin will choose the Jedi over Palpatine. It was no secret that the two of them were quite close. Obi-Wan stood for a long moment, and finally, he said he does truly believe Anakin will do what is right. After all, he has Padme to help him out. Cody let out a laugh. His relationship with Padme was also not a well-kept secret from the clones. Back on Coruscant, Anakin would soon visit with Mace Windu and Yoda alone in the council chambers. Everyone else was dismissed to begin preparations to try and end this war in the coming hours. They all knew that Dooku and Grievous would still be on the loose, and it would likely take weeks if not months to end it, but with Palpatine out of the way, things could escalate quickly. Anakin would hear all of this, and he would remember Fives. He would remember all of the assassination attempts on Padme, the millions of lives lost in this war, and because Anakin never had any sort of nightmares about Padme, his allegiance to Palpatine fell away in seconds. He wanted to end this war right now. He was called back from a mission to hear this, and when Windu asked Anakin to go to Senator Amidala with this, Anakin was more than happy to be trusted with this assignment. A large part wanted him to go with the Jedi to confront Palpatine, but in the end, he decided he would rather be with Padme for the end of this. So, as Anakin flew to meet with the Senator of Naboo, Masters Yoda and Windu flew over to the office of the former Senator of Naboo, now Chancellor Palpatine. Palpatine knew something may have gone wrong when he lost contact with Lex, so he would take down whatever Jedi come to arrest him, and he would execute Order 66 earlier than expected. Soon, the doors of the Chancellor's office would open inward as Yoda and Windu stepped inside. Sabers ignited. Sidious rose from his seat with a wicked grin, red blade quickly igniting. Windu would lunge in first, realizing that Palpatine is Darth Sidious, sinking into Vapod to put the lightsaber form on full display, battering Sidious with raw strength. The Sith Lord parried sharply, twisting his blade, jabbing towards Windu's chest. Yoda flipped over the clash, landing on the desk and driving his green blade down towards Sidious, forcing the Sith to disengage and leap away. The Jedi advanced together, as Windu was attacking high with relentless swings, while Yoda spun, darting low, probing Sidious's defenses. Sidious swung wildly now, rage overcoming his composure. He cut towards Yoda, who ducked, slashed upward into Sidious's arm, slicing into it, and Windu took advantage of the moment, stepping in with a crushing elbow to the face, slicing down across Sidious's torso. The Sith Lord gasped, fell to the floor, dying here from the wounds. The Jedi had come with the intention to arrest Palpatine, but upon his reveal to be Sidious, they realized they had no choice. Windu and Yoda were breathing heavily. Windu would move to the desk, flicking on the Senate broadcast. Senator Amidala was speaking to the people of the galaxy, Republic, Separatist, all of them, as she unraveled the truth about Palpatine. She displayed the inhibitor chip reports, Order 66, Palpatine's involvement with the creation of the clone army, along with newly recovered files seized from the Kaminoans that stated Dooku was also involved. The entire galaxy would learn that this entire war was created by the leaders of both sides, and the Senate would be pleased to learn that Palpatine was defeated. The following months would see the downfall of the Separatist army. Dooku and Grievous would lose all public support from the Separatist Senate, and although they were able to keep the fighting going for a bit longer, the people of the galaxy joined with the clones to fight against the CIS. In the end, Dooku and Grievous would launch a final assault on Coruscant in desperation, and it would be their final battle as both were killed aboard the Invisible Hand as it would go up in flames. The war could officially end. Newly elected Chancellor Padme Amidala would work to rebuild the Republic, and with Anakin by her side, she would eventually give birth to twins Luke and Leia Skywalker, as Anakin would take time away from the Order to be with the children, as Padme ran the rebuilding Republic. As for the clone troopers, they were key in rebuilding worlds affected by the war, and the leaders of this movement were Obi-Wan Kenobi, Commander Cody, Ahsoka, who'd returned to the Order, and Rex. The four of them would be the public faces of the Jedi and the clones' rebuilding effort, and Cody forever knew that he was the one who prevented Order 66. It was weird, knowing that he prevented so much terrible things from happening, but he was forever grateful to have Kenobi and the others by his side as the years of peace would get underway. And folks, that's our story for today. Cody, I really like writing about him. I haven't done a story with him in a long while. A couple of my favorites, I think. It's hard to remember everything I've written and talked about, but a couple of my favorites if you want to go back. Definitely What If Cody Found Obi-Wan After Order 66. That one was a lot of fun, and I think, just anything with Cody and Obi-Wan, I just really enjoy that dynamic. The two of them, I don't know, favorite characters in the Clone Wars, I think for sure. Cody, favorite clone, so really appreciate you guys listening, and hope you guys share the sentiment of just, appreciating Obi-Wan Commander Cody. Appreciate you guys listening. I know I just said that, but yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next video.